Hello guys and welcome back to TEW 2016. This is our Best of Super Juniors tournament. I am here with Tucker.
Hello.
And we are here for the start of Block B. That's what we're here for. We're not.
That is indeed what we are here for, yeah.
It's the next night and let's get this Block B underway. Our main event tonight is Ricochet versus Kyle O'Reilly. What do you think of that one?
It's big. To be honest, it's big. It's massive.
It's probably the biggest match of the whole block, to be fair.
Yeah,
or
I would
one
say
of the biggest ones.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's definitely up there, especially for the Japanese audience, because a lot of this group is of unproven in Japan, so we'll see how they do tonight. So let's get night 2 of the Best of the Super Juniors underway. We start with a 6-man tag, because of course we start with a 6-man tag. We have the Bullet Club, which are the Gorillas of Destiny and Bad Luck Fale tonight, taking on Kojima and the Great Bash Heels. Fale beats Honma with a spear. Yay, I guess.
Yeah, it's solid stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Solid wrestling. There's not too much flash. There's a bit of carnage at the start, with people being like thrown around and a load of strikes being given. But other than that, there's not a great deal of actually great wrestling in this match. So we'll head on to the second 6-man tag, where Suzuki Gun defeat Taguchi Japan when Zack Sabre Jr. submits Taguchi with a senior stretch. Tanahashi was in a match. Oh my lord. Again, Tanahashi's the one that's sitting, like, you guys do the work. He tags in for a hot tag, but then tags himself back out, and that's pretty much it. And he gets taken out near the end by Lance Archer, just to make sure Zack can get the pinfall. Well, the submission, but hey. So we then we're now going to go on to the first of the four Best of Super Juniors bouts, where Matt Riddle defeats El Desperado by submission with a guillotine choke. What do you think of that one?
Riddle's the bigger guy, and I think that really helps him, to be honest. I think it's going to help him the entire tournament. He's a pretty big guy. Actually, pretty shocked he made weight for this tournament.
Yeah, it was very close, to be fair.
Yeah, it really shows, I think, the drive of Matt Riddle to, like, be the best at everything he does. Because he cut a lot of weight to become part of this tournament, and he did make it.
The real question is cutting that weight going to compromise him, because he's not at his usual level of fitness?
That's very true as well.
Muscle mass.
Yeah, that's got to be another question you have to be asking.
El Desperado, not one of the top of the Best of Super Juniors roster. Although he is still a world-class athlete, he's not got the experience or the exposure in this type of tournament. Same as Matt Riddle, but Riddle has previous experience in single knockout tournaments, and that might have an effect in this tournament as it progresses. So we'll head on to the next match. Rocky Romero defeats Bushi with an ankle lock. A lot of submissions today. Rocky, obviously a tag team specialist guy. These two more established in the Best of Super Juniors, the Super Juniors division, sorry. This match was quite a short match in some regards. They kept it quite flowing. A lot of strikes from Rocky, a little bit of aerial offense from Bushi, but it was quickly snuffed out, and when the ankle lock's applied, there's not much, especially from Rocky, you can do about it. What are your thoughts on this, Tucker?
Romero, certainly impressing. Guy known for more of his tag action, but he is an established junior. Can stand on his own 2 feet, and he proves that tonight.
Yes, definitely. A much better start than his tag team partner Beretta had last night.
Yes, that's very true. Beretta getting upset by the young Kawoto. Yeah.
Yep. So we move on to the next match where Kushida loses to Trevor Lee. What? That's a huge thing. Kushida, supposed to be the top of the junior heavyweight division, alongside Hiromu Takahashi, loses to a newcomer, Trevor Lee. Tucker, do you think the style, the different style, a more Western style of wrestling, got to Kushida in this instance?
I don't think it's the case of a Western style. I think it's the fact that Trevor Lee fights in some ways like a wild animal, but at the exact same time it's controlled, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Lee hits hard, moves fast, and has an unbelievable intensity for a junior, really. But at the exact same time, everything that he does is thought out. Everything he does is meticulous. Everything he does has a purpose. Kishida, on the other hand, is similar in a lot of ways, but he doesn't have that intensity. He doesn't have that hard-hitting ability, at least not to the level of Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee has a fire in him that I don't think anybody in this tournament will match.
Well, we'll have to see how Trevor Lee gets on with the rest of the group. But up next, our main event, which is a huge match. So let's see the outcome. Kyle O'Reilly defeats Ricochet in 1944, scraping the time limit, which is 20 minutes. Scraping it, just being able to hit the brainbuster just before the bell rings for the end of time, but he is able to get the 3 count. Kyle O'Reilly beats Ricochet.
Yeah, you know, these longer matches, man, they're gonna hurt both of these guys in the long run. I wish one of them would have had the intelligence to possibly say die sooner, but let's be honest, neither of these guys are going to give in. Neither of these guys are going to give up. It would have really taken one of them being put down in order for them to be put down. In this case, O'Reilly is able to pull it out. Props to him, but I think he's going to feel the effects just as bad as Ricochet.
That's what I was going to say. Is Kyle O'Reilly's style a lot more suited to be going these long matches? Ricochet dependent on this high-flying offense, which does take a lot more cardio effort. So could there be a thing where Kyle O'Reilly doesn't want to give up so early? This could be a tournament decider to see who gets into the final.
You know, when you bring up the style of O'Reilly, it did convince me possibly for only a moment that, yeah, that makes sense that, you know, O'Reilly he works a very different style, and certainly styles can come into play when it comes to tournament play. But I think O'Reilly, his strikes are hard. We've already established he hits hard, he's very technically proficient. But I think the extra little bit he puts behind every single strike, every single forearm, every single elbow, working away on guys, everything you put behind that is, in total, the same amount it would take to fly across the ring, to go up to the top rope, to run around the ring, to fly through the air, to connect with something like a crossbody. I think while one of them is very more energy consuming on the surface level, O'Reilly's style has this work away effect on both his opponents and I think himself. I think while Ricochet in some cases may feel the instant effect of that loss of stamina, O'Reilly's going to feel it over time. So it kind of becomes a more, O'Reilly wants the match to go on for X long, but not too long. And luckily for Kyle O'Reilly, with the time limit being around 20 minutes and showing what he did tonight, of course it is only night one, these guys are still pretty fresh, but I'm not sure that the stamina factor will come into play for O'Reilly in his specific style. And the fact that Ricochet is a guy who does go pedal to the metal, goes 1,000 miles a minute, fights as hard as he can, the fact that O'Reilly's style preys on working down guys, if Ricochet's running his own stamina out, if he's running himself, wearing himself out, it only helps O'Reilly. And at the end of the day, I think that Ricochet could have pulled out this win, but I think Kyle O'Reilly, 9 times out of 10, picks up the victory just because their styles are in the favor of Kyle O'Reilly.
So that was our main event. We now head over to the press conference where Zack Sabre Jr. is like, okay, come on, let's see who's next for me, as he talking about the 6-man tag earlier. And Cody Rhodes also comes out and says, like, Naito, bring it on. Come out here and face me. You're just being a wuss.
Oh, man.
And that is the end of the show. A really solid show there. I'll put up a graphic again showing the group. What do you think of this show and how it could potentially affect the future? Some really surprising upsets in there.
The O'Reilly victory is huge. And the entire block's going to feel that, because the guy coming out of that match not only has the wear and tear, but now he also has the confidence boost, or the confidence loss in the case of Ricochet. So other guys may be looking to capitalize on Ricochet's lack of both morale and physical fitness, physical health right now. While meanwhile, somebody like O'Reilly, who is in higher spirits probably, isn't the best to take on right after, but at the exact same time, how long can his body hold up on him? Again, it's only the first night, though. I don't know if those questions really apply at this point, but if something like that was to happen later on in the tournament, a bigger match like that, that's what you have to be thinking about if you're a competitor and if you're somebody watching.
Definitely. So we'll see you guys next time for more TEW, more Best of Super Juniors tomorrow night. Night number 2 for Block A. That's going to be a huge match. I'm sure there's huge matches. There's always huge matches in Best of Super Juniors. So I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.